Rely.
We have like 1 or 2 minutes
Mayor.
just to talk.
I'm going to call the regular meeting to order. It is now 7 o'clock. Requirements of the Sunshine Law have been met. This meeting was advertised in the Burlington County Times on January the 10th, 2022. An electronic notice was given pursuant to the NJAC 5:39-1.5. We will now lead with the Pledge of Allegiance. We will now have a moment of silence. Roll call.
Committeewoman Berkeley.
Present.
Committeeman Carr.
Present.
Committeeman De Silva.
Present.
Committeewoman Mungo.
Present.
Mayor Henley.
Present.
Also present, Township Solicitor, Acting Township Clerk Administrator, Chief of Police, Fire and EMS Chief.
A proclamation remembering Mr. Nelson Grovat Jr. I'm sorry? Grovat. I was just debating like how to say. I'm sorry.
My fault.
Yeah, we were all talking about
I was asking. Actually, I must have asked the wrong crowd, so I apologize. Whereas Nelson L. Grovat Jr. of the Rancuca section of West Hampton Township passed away Tuesday, May 24, 2022, and whereas Mr. Grovat served on various boards such as the West Hampton Township Zoning Board, the West Hampton Township Board of Education, and the Board of Directors of Burlington County Special Service School Districts, and whereas Mr. Grovat served the West Hampton Township Committee between 1964 and 1993, and in the capacity of mayor for 2 terms in the years of 1982 and 1992. And whereas Mr. Grovat also served as West Hampton Township's first police commissioner, and whereas as a long life resident of West Hampton Township, Nelson L. Grovat Jr. demonstrated how successful an individual can be in participating with the municipality and his neighbors to enhance the quality of life in West Hampton Township. Now, therefore, I, Sandy Henley, Mayor of the Township of West Hampton, on behalf of the Township Committee and all the citizens of West Hampton, thank and honor in memorial of Mr. Nelson L. Grovat Jr. for his dedication, service, and for his ongoing contribution to the community and to the Township of West Hampton. Amen.
Gentleman form. Thank you. Yay. Okay.
That's what I said. Who took my paper? So no executive session, correct?
Not the vote. Will be second.
So we're going to do approval of minutes.
Read what's on.
Oh, the executive, it says executive session.
Read it.
Executive, read, there's been a change in the agenda.
No, read it out loud, please.
I said approval of minutes.
You have to do the executive session. There's been a change in the agenda, and we will not be having the first part of the executive session.
Yes. I thought that was the secret code. You said don't read. We probably should have rehearsed. You read it, so we're fine. Approval of minutes, May 17, 2022, regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes. We need a motion.
De Silva make a motion.
Second, Berkeley?
Roll call, please.
Berkeley?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
De Silva?
Yes.
Longo?
Abstain.
Mayor Henley?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0-1.
We will open the meeting for public comment. Please remember to state your name and your address for the record. Come on up.
This will be agenda items only. Is the green light on? If you just push it, it's dying, so we need batteries. Just push it and hold it in for a second. Chief?
Good evening. Gary Rivera, 138 Winstead. I have some comments about the agenda. The first is on number 10, the monthly reports from the West Hampton Township construction reports. So I did take a look at these. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the format of these reports. I'll give you my personal comment on them. Boy, I struggled to really comprehend these reports. I think they were very difficult to really grasp exactly what the report is saying. So, for example, I'm just looking at the February report. Up in the header, they talk about cubic footage and square footage, and there's two zeros. 0 cubic foot, 0 square footage, and yet there was $179,422 worth of alterations related to construction costs. I just think I couldn't figure out what that was. Also, what are technical issues on the report? Building technical, electrical technical, fire protection technical, plumbing technical. Is there a definition of what technical issues are? It would be helpful, I guess, to kind of figure out what that is. And what's a waived fee? Is there a definition of what a waived fee is, and why would we waive a fee? I mean, I have no objection to waiving a fee. I just would like to know who's eligible to get a fee waived, et cetera, what that's all about. That's just my comments about those reports generally. The next item is on number 11A, the ordinances on fixing the salaries, wages, compensation, et cetera. I think I made a comment at the last public meeting around the minimum and maximum salary for the municipal public defender. I didn't see that. It looks like that minimum or maximum had changed, especially towards the maximum on the higher side, at least to equate what the prosecutor was. So I guess my comment would be, if you're willing to offer your comments as to why you've chosen maybe not to match at least the municipal public defender salary with that of the prosecutor, I think it would be helpful to know. There is a presumption of innocence when you walk into a courtroom. It's a fundamental right that we have as Americans. And I think that it sends kind of a very incongruent message if you're coming or a resident into this township, right? That we're willing to pay the full majesty of the state to prosecute you, but for whatever reason, we don't feel like it's necessary that we have to pay. 20,000 a year is $10 an hour for a licensed attorney. And I hate to be colloquial here, but in India they have a saying, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. I'm not saying that's what we're getting here, but think about it. If you're to walk in and be in the shoes of someone who's a defendant, in the municipal court it's quasi-criminal, so there are serious consequences there, you're hopefully reasonably confident you're going to get the kind of representation you deserve. Presumption of innocence clothes you when you walk into the courtroom. I just think as a township, I think we're way beyond the idea of not being progressive. I think we're a just and verdant population in this township, and I think you are the embodiment of that with your diversity up there. So that's just my comment about that. I also have a comment on, I'll back you up, Craig, on the per diem. Do you know, from looking at this schedule, we are paying a per diem EMT $18 an hour. a firefighter 20. We pay potentially a recreational employee $30 an hour. This is someone who's going to save your life. How can they be paid less than someone who's going to teach your kids to play basketball or tennis? I think at a minimum, can we pay the EMTs and the firefighters at least the maximum rate up to the recreational employee, $30 an hour? That's my comment. I'll move on to 13. Letter B, it's Resolution 87-22, right-of-way used to cross river fiber. I have two comments on this. My question is there or have you requested that they, Cross River Fiber, provide us being West Hampton Township, with a copy of their aerial and underground installation plans after the system has been engineered and laid out? That's my comment, if you have a response to that. And then potentially, can you confirm from or with them that their system would not be installing any other type of intrusive equipment on the poles or within our right-of-way? If that's been asked, or if you've gotten confirmation from them, that's my comment. And then the other piece of this is that I know the state kind of handcuffs us in terms of what we can do in terms of monetizing them in the township, but there is going to be an administrative fee. It looks like we're going to impose on them, and according to the resolution, it's $1,000. So my comment is, I looked up the construction permits. There are 12 projects that a homeowner potentially could stack together and pay permit fees for. Potentially, a homeowner stacking all 12 projects together could potentially pay more than $1,000. I just think that, I get it, we're not here to gouge that company, I totally understand that. I was trying to find their financial data, very cagey. I could not find out what their revenue, what their sales were. My best guess is well over $3+ million in sales. So it's not like they can't afford it. I want to be reasonable and at least equitable with the township residents who are the taxpayers here, right? If you're doing all these projects and you're going to pay more than this giant faceless anonymous corp, no, not really. They are a good legit corporation. I'm just looking for some equilibrium there. That's my comment on that. Move on to letter E, 9022, the purchase of the dump truck. I'm all in favor of the dump truck. I think it's a good thing. My only comment there is that I think it'd be kind of fun, maybe, and potentially part of teaching youngsters some civic engagement. Maybe we could organize a contest and see if the kids want to name the dump truck. In England, they did, they named this boat, and there was a big controversy. They called it Boaty McBoatface. Remember that? So I don't think we're going to call it Dumpy McDump Truck, but maybe the kids can come up with a better name than that, right? And then we have a fun event. Look, there's a lot negative going on. We got a crashing economy, just a crashing stock market. We got a pandemic. Let's have some fun. I like to see this dump truck. It's $218,000. I'd like to sit in the dump truck and, kind of feel what it might be like driving it. I think we should all sit in there. And let's christen the dump truck, but let's not break the champagne bottle on it. Let's drink the champagne. Right? Let's have a fun thing. Let's park this thing out there and let's get a good look at it. We're paying for it, right? You guys made the effort to get this dump truck for us. I think in there it says we're buying it. It's a 2023 model, but I couldn't remember if I read it right. When is it going to be delivered? That's my comment. Is it delivered like this year or this summer? Any ideas? If you want to comment on that, that might be nice to know. Letter G, 92-22. Samantha Horton. Is she here? There you are. Hi. You're starting on the 21st? Okay, congratulations. We should have a party for her? Welcome her?
Same champagne that we're going to use in the dump truck.
I'm all in favor of it. It's nice. These are important jobs. We're lucky to have people that are, talented, capable, that are willing to do this. I was looking at this. I was kind of hoping to see some notes on here that we were going to, have this great welcome for you. The only other comment I have on there is that we're going to be appointing her. It looks like she's starting on the 21st, but there was no mention of the salary. And I know you discussed salary in the salary ordinance, but that's quite a range. So hopefully she's getting, a commensurate salary there. But I don't know, does that have to be published in the appointment resolution? That's my comment. You can maybe double check on that. And I, 94-22, the 100% totally disabled veteran, I'm all in favor of that. And so, Sandy, I guess I'll give this one back to you. Your mentor, Troy Singleton, I want to say back in 2012, he was trying to sponsor legislation when he was in the the House, the delegate, that the state or the federal government, DOD, would reimburse municipalities for uncollected taxes from veterans. I do not know where that legislation ended up. I think it was tabled, committed, and probably died. So maybe, Sandy, you can talk to Troy and see if there's any update on that.
See if I can get in touch with him.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Letter J, 95-22, the James Grace. I have no objection. I don't know the gentleman. It would just be nice in these resolutions, if it's feasible, if it's permissible, to put some sort of CV, like, do we know that they're qualified, why they're getting this, that sort of a thing. Same thing with letter I, Frank Jones. So they're being appointed. Mr. Jones is there till 2023, so they're there for a little while. It just would boost our confidence knowing that they're the right people in the right seat in the right bus going in the right direction, that sort of a thing, right? So I don't know in the terms of the resolution if you can include that kind of an information.
Keep it on or turn it off? Go on. Anyone else? So we're going to close public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Monthly report, the West Hampton Township Construction Report. Ordinance 5-2022, an ordinance of the West Hampton Township, the Township of West Hampton, to fix the salaries, wages, and compensation of certain officials and employees of the Township of West Hampton for the year of 2022. This is the second read. We will open that for public comment as well. Does anyone have an additional public comment? With no comment, do we have a motion?
De Silva make a motion.
Mungo, second.
Roll call?
Barclay?
No?
I'm sorry?
No?
Carr?
Yes.
De Silva?
Yes.
Longo?
Yes.
Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
Ordinance 6-2022, an ordinance of the Township of West Hampton appropriating $905,278.33 of the American Rescue Plan funds to fund public safety measures and technology investments. This is the first reading. Do we have a motion?
Berkeley moves.
Silva will second.
Roll call?
Barclay?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
De Silva?
Yes.
Longo?
Yes.
Henley?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Resolution 85-22, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through 6/14/2022. Do we have a motion?
De Silva make a motion.
Carl second.
Roll call?
Barclay?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
De Silva?
Yes.
Longo?
Yes.
Mayor Henley?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Consent agenda resolutions. Note, consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by the certification of availability of funds. Any items requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. Does anyone have anything that they wish to remove? With no removal, do we have a motion?
De Silva make a motion.
Berkeley second.
Roll call?
Barclay?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
De Silva?
Yes.
Longo?
Yes.
Mayor Henley?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
OPM mailbox and correspondence, there are none. We will now open the meeting for public comment. Please remember to state your name and address for the record.
Person hold until the brief is on.
We'll get new batteries in there by the 28th. I can promise you that.
Comment. Yeah. A lot of things I can't do. Gary Rivera, 138 Winstead. So my public comment is on our police vehicles. As far as I can tell, I think our police vehicles are all essentially the same sort of unicolor. Is that right? I mean, they're like a subdued gray.
So we have a few different options right now. This one's business candidates or station vehicles. So at the time that vehicle that was developed, those two vehicles out there were actually earmarked for another department on the North Jersey. That's why I think when you see there's two spots, is they normally ride two policemen in the car. So that's why those vehicles are out there. So we're kind of transitioning them to white or whatever we can really get. A lot of that's for the pandemic. There's a lot of backlog.
Because I think Willenboro is black and white, right? Because
I believe so.
yeah.
Excuse me, Chief? This is comment only, not discussion. Sorry.
I know. But my comment was, I get it that the cars are all one color. Years ago, I used to live in Washington, D.C., and the MPD, when the vehicles were on sort of routine patrol, meaning they weren't responding to an emergency with lights and sirens, and the speed limit in the city was 25 miles an hour, which I think is the same here, essentially. The idea being that I can't tell typically if it's the police vehicle because of the sort of the camouflage of the name West Hampton Township on it. I'm just suggesting maybe we could try it. I don't know if it's something you want to think about, but when the police car is sort of in the neighborhood on routine patrol, maybe it strobes its light in a non sort of emergency fashion. I don't even know if that's possible. Just to let citizens know that, hey, it's a routine patrol, that if you have an issue or problem and you see the vehicle, it's okay for you to flag them down and, you know, stop them. Because when I see a police vehicle without any indication of what they're doing, and if I wanted to, there's no way I'm going to stop them because I don't know what they're doing. They may be responding to an emergency, so I'm not going to interfere with them. But ordinarily, if you think that they're in my neighborhood, I might want to see or make, you know, talk to them. That's just a suggestion.
Do you have any other comments? So we're going to close public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
So dates to remember, next scheduled meeting is June 28th, 2022 at 7 p.m. June 16th is Cool Off with the Cop at the Cool Breeze Frozen Treats and Eats. That's the Old Breeders. That's from 12 to 3. Timbuktu Advisory Committee Historical Site Tours on June the 25th at 1 p.m. And always a favorite National Night Out on August the 2nd. Location will be to determine. Do we have any committee liaison comments from the township committee members?
School liaison, the school will be appointing a new Board of Education member this month, and many of you know that the superintendent will be leaving in the fall, so they will soon be starting a superintendent search. We were able to get a complete list of seniors through the county, through the registration of their name, their age, their address, and their phone number, so that we can start really getting more things for our seniors instead of just those seniors that happen to be on Facebook. I want to thank the Gravatt family for being here. It's personal for me. I've known Nelson, or I should say he's known me my whole life, even before I was born. Larry told me my grandmother was the person who delivered Nelson. And just to give you the kind of gentleman farmer he was, I had an uncle who was severely disabled. Couldn't write his name, couldn't dial a telephone. But Nelson was able to teach him how to drive a tractor. And Nelson said, as long as I got that first row straight, he said, I could teach Joe, and Joe could make the straightest lines of anyone I could hire. And Joe couldn't get a job. He couldn't even work for the county in the county facility, but it made him feel important. It gave him some money. It enhanced his life, and Nelson gave him a chance. And this is the kind of person he was. He was always looking out for the community, always doing things. And I was glad, Otis, you were there at the October meeting when he did a history of Rancocas and the surrounding area. and the man's mind was as sharp as a tack. I would tell the fact, and he would go into all the stories about the people and get people to laugh. And it was just an amazing time. And I'm very sorry for your loss. It's a loss for all of us. But I know the family, and I know you will continue in his way of serving. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You have anyone else?
Just also like to echo that. Thank you to the Gravatt family for coming.
I have a few things. So thank you to the family. It's, it's my misfortune, after reading the proclamation, that I didn't get an opportunity to know him. So, that's, something that I think would help us all to get to know someone who did so much for the town, just to make sure that, we keep some of those things going and honestly, so that we don't make the mistakes of the past is what's really important. So I can't say I'm sorry enough, for your loss, but I'm thankful that we had that type of man in West Hampton to be able to lead us for that amount of time. So, I got to figure out who I'm going to first. So some of the answers to your questions. It's an RFP. So they put in for what they're going to pay, right, as far as a prosecutor. Not the prosecutor, the public defender.
So for professional services, when we RFP at the end of every calendar year for the upcoming new year, the prosecutor and the public defender will tell us what they expect to be paid from the township. We don't determine their salaries. So they tell us what they would like to be paid, and we choose from whoever's answered that RFP.
And Craig, if I'm not mistaken, the per diem, that's a contractual amount that we're paying, or what's that?
So our per diems are paid $18 an hour. $18 an hour. They are not under contract in any way, shape, or form.
What is that comparison as far as the other townships?
It's getting more competitive. Every week that goes by, just because there is a lack of people that want to be EMTs and firefighters and police officers. It's becoming more and more difficult to attract people and keep people, but we're in line with other towns for the most part. The biggest problem we would have, just to answer your question, is if we were to raise the per diem salary, let's just say to $30 an hour, that's going to put per diems at a higher hourly rate than our full-time employees.
Right.
So that will create
A chain of, right.
Too. So that's, long-term plans, yes, we got to come up with something because we are going to have issues at some point if things continue, down the path they sort of are right now.
May I also make a comment about the salary ordinance?
Of course.
Just because there's salaries listed on the salary ordinance doesn't necessarily mean we are actually paying individuals those specific salaries. This is just a guide for the positions that we do offer. And when we start positions for specific things in the township, we have the ability to kind of move them along a sliding scale. So although it lists a very low minimum, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they're being paid. It's just a guideline for us to say, this is the minimum and this could be the maximum, and we have the ability to determine where they're going to fall on that salary ordinance.
Okay, everybody else good? Let me say, welcome Samantha. We look forward to your productive career at West Hampton Township Building. So I know everyone's welcoming you with open arms and happy to have you. I look forward to all the success and just making sure that we treat our residents the best way we possibly can as a collective group, I think is extremely important as well. With that being said, where are we at? I got 3 papers here. Hold on a second, I'm flipping. All right, so we will now go in a workshop section. Workshop section, huh?
Executive.
Not workshop, executive.
What does that say? We will now go into workshop section. What is that?
I'm not saying a word.
Yeah. Executive session, huh?
That should be executive.
Right. An apology would be nice. See? Listen, the first one I was wrong, but this one. We will now go into executive section of, it says, what does it say? Session,
Don't read that part, just go to the next page.
session of the meeting. So, executive session. Resolution number 6-14, 2022, resolution authorizing the mayor, township committee, and staff, and supporting staff to meet in private session, authorizing the exclusion of the public from the portion of the meeting dealing with specific issues requiring non-public discussions, personnel. This session will occur after adjournment. No official action will be taken. Do we have a motion?
De Silva make a motion.
Burke, a second.
Roll call.
Worsley,
Yes?
Carr,
Yes.
De Silva,
Yes.
Longo,
Yeah.
Mayor Henley,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
We will now enter into a closed executive session. The meeting will be officially adjourned at the end of the closed session. Thank you. Yeah, you guys.